kind of knew that some of you wouldn't be coming back. You kind of knew some of you were going to make it. I mean, I can only guess, you know, to how those guys must have felt.
To get to the point that you can understand, okay, this is the routine. I jump out of a moving plane, and I fall to the earth, and hopefully a chute opens. And then the easy part is to grab my weapon and go kill people. It's a totally different world.
They flew pretty much into mayhem. They lost at least 1,000 paratroopers before they hit the ground. Planes shot down or being shot just in their parachutes.
They were dropping guys at 500 feet. I mean, the ground is very close at 500 feet.
The pilots didn't really know what to expect or weren't trained for that amount of anti-aircraft fire and flew too low, flew too fast. Some of them flew too high and they got scattered, all just to hell and gone, basically.
Hey, camera. Okay.
The special effects department constructed what we call a gimbal. It's a very large hydraulic-driven apparatus that sits underneath the plane, and they can control every possible axis of movement in varying degrees of intensity. And that thing is really rock and rolling, as if you were in a real plane bouncing about. A bunch of us went on board, and we said, show us how it works, and he very gently did the controls. And fool that I am, I said to him jokingly, come on, show me what you got. It was unbelievable. It was an e-ticket ride.
My episode, episode 2, starts with the aircraft, the C-47s, full of paratroopers. It starts with the guys jumping out of the aircraft. We decided that we would predominantly keep with Winters, who's one of our main characters in the episode.
8 seconds. That's all it took. Plane to the ground. I'm going to do it in about 4. Very dangerous, highly skilled stunt I'm about to undertake.
What we thought we would do would be to follow him down to the ground in one go. So from the time he jumps out of the aircraft to the time he hits the ground is one shot. And we're doing that by hanging the actor against blue, with a lot of air being blown on him on a hip rig, so we can swivel and pivot him in lots of directions. Then we have a camera crane which is moving, represents really a floating camera. When we make him fall, he's not falling at all. The aircraft is moving away, so it looks like he's falling. But that's put on in a process, an optical process afterwards. So if you shoot someone against a blue screen, the computer can remove the blue and put whatever background you want in. In this case, it would be aircraft and sky and other paratroopers. So we have our actor falling. We have a camera crane that moves into him, goes up to his face, looks down to the ground as he looks to the ground, looks back up to him again, all in one shot.
Let's go! Very good, excellent cut.
The look and feel of Band of Brothers was enhanced during post-production at Cinesite London, using a revolutionary all-digital film finishing process.
The technologies that we pioneered to get HBO on board were really about electronic color timing. It was about having the ability to electronically control all of the aspects of hue and color and be able to match them shot for shot.
Before we started shooting, there was a set of instructions from Tom and Stephen about what they wanted and what they didn't want and what the look of things had to be. It's desaturated, there's not much colour in it. It's as though you were actually back in the 1940s with a 1940s camera actually shooting stuff for real. And when we do post-production, when we do digital effects, we keep a consistent theme throughout the whole show, basically.
Cinesite also provided many of the 700 visual effect shots in the miniseries that recreate Easy Company's experiences.
We're dropping deep into occupied Holland. Our job is going to be to liberate Eindhoven.
What we're doing here is recreating Operation Market Garden, which is the drop in Holland of thousands and thousands of troops.
This is the first shot for the parachute sequence. We're not looking at the high-resolution parachute and soldiers. We're looking at very low-res models, so we can very quickly and easily lay out the look of the shot and the speeds and the animation and the timing. And this is an individual soldier with parachute, and there's animation on the actual soldier as he comes down, just to give life to it. Then from this we can render high-resolution models.
In this case we're taking Mike's CG and I'll then layer those CG elements over the live-action background, which in this case is this shot here. And what we needed to do here is separate somehow the background from the foreground. So we create a matte which would look something like this, and basically what happens here is anything in the black area will allow the parachutes to be visible, but as soon as they hit this white area here, they'll disappear from view, and it'll give the impression of them falling behind the foreground elements. So all those very tiny details need to be achieved so that you believe that it really is happening.